Hey everybody, we're here on new episode 5 for talking NHL Playoffs edition. I'm here with Alex, aka AC, aka ACC, aka Pintu, aka
Woo!
I don't know, another name. Figure it out. Uh
Let's get it. What's going on,
so
boys?
special guest today. We're gonna talk about hockey. So okay, I guess we should just address the elephant in the room and talk about the Leafs game tonight.
Yep. Where do we start and where do we end? Biggest game of their franchise, I think, for the last 20 years, and probably the biggest game of the next 3 years.
I think so too, because I think this sets the tone for everything. If they lose tonight, I think there's a lot of things that have to happen next season, including moving one of those $11 million players.
Oh yeah.
And it's most likely not going to be Matthews or Marner. So sorry, Tavares.
You know what's funny? I heard a little bit of talk today about Marner being in the question.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, he hasn't played horrible through the playoffs. Um, but Matthews really stepped up defensively. Like I've actually seen him try, which is strange.
he's throwing a couple of hits too. He is playing harder. He's trying to contribute in other
Yeah.
ways because right now the scoreboard isn't for him, unfortunately.
So and Nylander looks really good.
Yeah, he
Uh,
does.
Surprisingly, because a lot of people are down on him and he doesn't always show up. Um, but I was listening to Don Cherry today,
Oh wow.
and he was saying that he doesn't understand at all why they play Marner on the penalty kill. And well,
Well,
he
how
is
many shorthanded goals does he have this
I know,
year?
and he is a good defender, and I understand that that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create opportunity on the penalty kill. But the big issue I have with it, for me personally, is you're eating up so much ice time minutes for him for the rest of the game. Like, how tired is he towards the end of the game? You know what I mean?
I know, I know. These kids should be able to go a little longer, even with a
I
couple extra
agree.
shifts, right? And that's the only thing. That's the only way we're gonna kind of get Matthews a better matchup. You got to double shift them. You got to keep him out there longer than his opponent's matchup can play. And if he can outwork them, he's only going to find those chances on a double shift or something. Off an icing. Power play is obvious, but this guy's getting shut down right now, and it's going to come down to coaching tonight for sure.
So in terms of Campbell, how do you feel about him and his play?
I guess it's because as Leaf fans and even if you're not a Leaf fan, the goalie situation in Toronto has been the worst for probably 20 years almost. But and that's what kind of is in our brains every time we see someone come down the wing and have a shot on any of our goalies. There's that quick hesitation or that nervousness that we're feeling like this could go in, this could get in somehow. Campbell's helped us kind of get away from that mentality, but still sometimes I see someone come down that wing and it's like, when Anderson has that snapshot, it just makes me slightly nervous.
Yeah,
But
I gotta say, I think he's played really well, and I've been pretty down on him for this series. I'll explain why, but he's and Marty Biron said it in one of his post game talks, but he looks more like an older style goalie, like from the early 90s. He doesn't play a lot of butterfly. He's very stand up. He's kind of floppy. He looks kind of
yeah,
like a
yeah,
Brodeur. And that scares me because in nowadays hockey, you got to cover up all the angles. And those type of goalies are not doing that. You can
yeah,
see when he's supposed to be hugging his post, he doesn't. He just turns onto
yeah,
like this weird angle where
yeah.
he's facing the play where he shouldn't be. He should be holding the ball. I'm not a goalie expert, but those are
I
things that
see what
he
you
does
mean.
that worry me.
I see what you mean.
His short side is always open.
And that's usually where he gets beat. Those
Yeah,
coming down the line there.
and
But
Carey Price is just a friggin' brick wall. I hate the
this
fact that you waited 10 years to show up. Like,
it's funny. I heard people doubting him like earlier throughout the season, and then the injury. Oh, do they start Jake Allen? Do they start Jake Allen in the playoffs?
no, you definitely do
It's
not.
like wow, you guys were halfway to writing this guy off,
Yeah,
and
it's the same thing for the Leafs. Would I say realistically through career and what I've seen, Anderson is a better goalie? Yes, but Campbell's playing really good. I have faith in him, and he's the hot hand. You got to ride the hot goalie, which
yeah,
you never switch with. Carolina did that a lot this year. They had goalie injuries, right? But every time a goalie would come back from an injury, they would immediately just start them. Like the other guy's hot. Why don't you just let him play? I don't understand the
so,
logic of that.
yeah. No, I think they've done the right choice there, and he's played well. Like he hasn't played bad. It just there's a couple giveaway goals, and what are you gonna do, right? He got unlucky with that lower time there, right through Bogosian. I think it hit him too, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, you go with him. You trust him for sure. He has played well. He's made big time saves. He's let in a couple here and there that could be questionable if if you're a critic, but he's definitely gonna be trusted tonight, I think.
Okay, so quick, who's the worst player you think for this series, or someone who didn't show up, and who's the best player for the series? On the Leafs, on the
Uh,
Leafs.
on the Leafs, I'll speak more to the Leafs just because we've had following them. We have a following for them for a long time, and I'm gonna have to say Marner's the biggest letdown, to be honest. He's gone 17 games. I heard the other day. Now it's seven. It was 16. Now it's 17 playoff games without a goal. He needs to get on there. He needs to get a goal. Even Matthews is underperforming, like everybody thinks, but
I think Matthews
he has a goal and he's playing well in other ways, right?
I agree. That's what I was gonna say. So that's completely fair.
But Marner is just on. Look, he's I know he's trying, but and they all are obviously. But the point is, you're the goal scorer, you're the playmaker. Make it happen. Get something. It's been 17 playoff games, right?
I agree. So who's the best?
There's a couple. Oh, sorry about that,
guys. Technical difficulties.
Technically, we're going to cut that out. So what's funny is you have a 37-year-old and a 41-year-old. You have a couple of old guys on your team, and you don't expect much from them. But when you see Jason Spezza playing out there like he has in this playoffs, you're just like, wow, are we facing Ottawa in 2003 right now, or what's going on? Because he is flying out there, and he's getting goals, and he's making plays, So he's probably one of my favorite Leafs right now in this series. And Nylander's tied up there with him, I think. But those are I would have to pick Jason Spezza.
I would say Spezza for sure for me. What he's done just as a leader on top of everything is really good. Foligno looks all right too, even though he hasn't really contributed offensively too much. But I mean, he did miss the games. And I think on the other end, I think Jake Muzzin hasn't showed up at all. Like I do have to agree with you as Marner is probably the biggest one, but I gotta shout out to Muzzin.
And he's gone for 3 weeks too if we end up continuing, so that's not good.
So on top of that, I think that I don't know. Okay, so in terms of the game, quickly, I wanted to say this. Matthews and Marner not showing up now or in the last playoff series is reminiscent of two other Toronto sports players on a team, might be the Raptors. I won't name names. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, who just never show up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I think for this game tonight, the Leafs need to get out to a quick start. And if they if Montreal scores first, I honestly, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but it's over.
Yeah. No, you know what? We've come back twice, I think. I think it's twice from behind multiple
goals. But we lose.
And we lose, right?
The comeback doesn't even matter.
It doesn't. But if anyone will come back, it could be the Leafs, but you don't want to start behind in this game 7.
Yeah.
When they get in your head, especially these inexperienced players, we got to have the first goal. We have to come out harder than the other team. That's just simple as that. First goal, I think winning percentage is over 60%, like in a game. The first goal matters. Huge. Put them on their heels right away, hopefully in the first 5 minutes, but that's asking for too much, I think. We'll see.
I mean, I think they just got to stay focused. They got to stay focused, and they really got to shoot. I don't think any shots are bad shots unless Morgan Riley's shooting. Then they're always a bad shot, because this guy will literally shoot with a guy 1 foot in front of him, create a rebound that's a breakaway, and then
or a 2-on-1.
This is my biggest thing, and I've been chirping about this the whole time. You can tell me if you noticed it or you didn't notice it, and I think maybe this is the last thing we'll talk about. But they keep making passes back to the point when there's either nobody there or the defenseman is covered. But instead of just dumping the puck in deep or trying to make a play towards the net, they make this pass back to nobody, and it causes all kinds of unforced turnovers.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're trying to not create a turnover, but then they end up turning it over or something, or
they're trying to stop a turnover, but making it by making a turnover.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times, but it's so hard. It's so hard to coach that. Like, yeah, dump it in, dump it in, dump it in, and then you're on a power play and you're cycling it around. That's another thing. Power plays. I don't know if you want to touch on that, but
if you want to go for it. Because I think the Leafs have had a terrible power play for the last little while, including the
they
season.
the season. You know what?
Towards the end.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. We have to talk. We had so many power plays against Montreal in the series, especially earlier on. They really cleaned it up last game. Last two games, I don't think they had many penalties, but it's almost as if we were relying that after the first few games. We haven't been able to score much without one almost, but we'll see what happens tonight because I think this last game 6, they went into the third period without having a power play. And it was like, wow, that was the first power play of the Leafs this game. I remember watching it and thinking, we got to get it now, boys, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Trust me, I feel you on that. If you had to make a prediction for this game score, do it.
Oh, where do I start? If the Leafs win this game, I think it'll be I hope it's going to be about a 4-1 win with maybe an empty netter because these guys have been pulling the goalie when we were up about 7 minutes too early. I mean, it's never too early, 7 minutes, depending on like if you're down 2 goals, whatever. But if we have a 3-1 lead, 2-1 lead, I think we close the game out 3-1, 4-1. And if we lose, it'll be an overtime.
Yep, I agree. I agree with both of those, and I think they need to win by 2. Anyways, that's all I have for this episode. Are you good?
I'm good. You know what I wanted to ask you? I wanted to ask who would your starting lineup be tonight?
For an entire lineup? I mean, I'm okay with how they're running the team, but I don't like Hyman. I'm just going to be honest with you. The way that Cap's star of our show felt in season 1 about him, he can't skate. He can't stick handle. And it frustrates me to no end that this guy's getting, every time I look on the ice, he's on the ice. And every time he tries to stick handle, he loses the puck with nobody covering him. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad because I forgot about
he does
this.
work hard. He does work hard though. Like
I get it, but hard work doesn't they're not scoring any goals on that line. So what are you bringing to the team?
But he isn't the one supposed to be scoring. I mean, I hear what you're saying. But I think it's all about the battles. I think
I want to reduce his minutes. Put someone else on that first line.
Put the third line on another shift, maybe.
Put Matthews on as a friggin' winger, okay? And put Spezza in between Marner and Matthews. Wow. And just let him win every face-off so that they control every time they have the puck, every time they're on the ice.
Yeah.
But Spezza can't stay out there long. He doesn't have any juice, so I guess.
He's been playing well, but yeah, stamina is an issue.
Put Simmons out there. Put Foligno out there. Like, just, I don't know. I don't want to see
legs,
that kind of.
It feels like Foligno's legs are fading a little bit.
Well, he's just coming off a lower body injury, so it doesn't. I don't know what it actually was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think overall this game is about this game tonight is going to have to be about the battles. I think these individual battles, we're looking at a whole game. They got to win each battle to win the period and then win the game. If they can win their battles, it'll create chances, get those chances to the net, good things happen.
All right,
Don Cherry said it himself.
Don Cherry said it himself, exactly. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for coming, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you think the Leafs are going to win in the comments. And, peace out.
Cheers. Go Leafs, go.